Well, what does it take to become a pilot? Do you have to be an expert model builder? It doesn't hurt. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today I'm going to be talking about basically three little things that it takes, well, maybe not little things, that it takes to become a pilot in my basement. Okay. So you already saw my little, the KD-12X, as I call it, and made that the other day. And uh, when I teach people how to fly, I've taught many people how to fly, and there's a certain thread that kind of goes through what kind of person learns how to fly, what brought them to the point to where they actually called up the flying school and said, hey, what does it take? And so I'm just going to go over a few of those things today. And I'll do this on introductory flights. And I'll say, when you were a kid, did you build model airplanes or model cars? And then they'd be, I never really built any models. And then if somebody says, yeah, I used to, I used to build model airplanes all the time. My favorite was this. Is okay. This kid's showing promise, or even this kid. This kid might be 60 years old. So so a lot of times that people that actually finally come and they get their pilot's license of whatever description of pilot license they get, it usually comes from a younger age where they're always interested. You can talk to any flight instructor out there, and you ask them, well, how many people come in here and say, oh, I've always loved flying? Probably most of them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that I've known people that have gotten into flying and they just said, hey, that looks cool. And 2 years later, they're working, they got a job doing it. So, and they never thought about it at all. So what does it take? I put it in the description already there for the too long. Was it too long? Didn't read. Well, there's three things: money, motivation, and time. And you'll find that with just about anything in life. Something that takes a little bit of effort, it's money, motivation, and time. And oh, cool, Jordan and Shecky are here. Hey guys. So, anyways, welcome to the channel. So money, motivation, and time. Now, how do you get that money? That's the hard part, right? So, I mean, it helps to have like a rich spouse or rich parents or something like that. But most of the time you gotta have some kind of a job. So I find that to get that money, there's certain careers that lend themselves to getting their pilot's license, where you have enough money to do it, because it's not cheap. It's so. Anyways, we got. I made a little note down here. Okay, probably one of the best jobs to get out there, if you're young getting into it, engineers. Now you'll go to any airport and there's a ton of pilots there that are engineers. It's just the type of thinking they're interested in, solving problems. They're interested in mechanical things, the way things work, and there's some kind of a the engineer brain and the pilot brain it's the same kind of brain. And along with that is like, well, I used to be a machinist before I became a pilot. Got my toolboxes over, still got my tools if I ever need a job in a shop. And that's making stuff out of steel. That's what a machinist does. And that's kind of the pilot type of brain too. You got to be able to concentrate and be precise and do the right thing, and it helps out. Okay, so there's lots of machinists here in Windsor, Ontario. There's all kinds of like everyone you meet here is a machinist or used to be one, or is a tool and die maker or mold maker. And so you this is so cool that you guys are in the chat here. It's the first time I've ever seen it going up like that. That's cool. Anyways, it's kind of distracting. Well, I mean, keep doing it. It's cool. That's what eventually I got to get used to it if I get it big. So okay. So machinists, mold makers, tool and die mechanics, quite a few like millwrights, heavy equipment mechanics, car mechanics. They're interested in that too. Another funny type of person that does that is people that are interested in motorcycles. There's well, Maverick rides a motorcycle, right? And Top Gun, so it's true. It's got to be true. It's in the media, right? So yeah, it's that's the thing there too. I would say, so teachers a little bit further into their career where the wage goes up a little bit more, and they got some time. They've got all their lesson plans developed, and they can kind of spend a little bit more time. High school, grade school teachers, doctors have money, but usually the doctors, I don't know, that won't be right away. They probably get their licenses a little bit later when they're pushing around 40 or something like that for the doctors because they got to set up their practice and they're working like crazy. Surprisingly, lawyers you don't really see for how many lawyers that are out there. I think they just work an incredible amount of hours, and you'll find that too for business owners. Okay, now there's some business owners that they become pilots, and they usually they have to be established a little bit more in their business where they can start taking time to duck off at work and go flying for a little while. So you won't see younger business owners doing that. Maybe I don't know 35, 40. That's when they kind of start getting into it, and the business is established. They can take off and stuff like that. What else we got here? Business owners. I'm checking this out. Oh, and yeah, so that's that. I don't know. Yeah, and so I know there's some guys that I was teaching how to fly, and they worked in construction, and they're just like, now construction is so busy. It's like you don't have time. You're working 12, 14 hours a day if you're doing bathrooms and kitchens. There's no shortage of that work. So I don't know. You got to have the right type of business where you can duck out. So there's your money, your motivation. Okay, so your motivation is okay. Now I was motivated to become a pilot because, well, I always wanted to do it, but I was working in a machine shop with my toolboxes here, and at one point I just said, I don't think I can do this for another 30, 35 years and just work in some loud, smelly machine shop around some negative guys bitching about the boss. And I don't know if I really want to do that. Money was okay, but do I really want to do that? Okay, I'll take the plunge. And then I became a pilot. So that was my other life was a machinist. And then more recently as a pilot, flight instructor. And so that was my motivation. It's just, I just don't want to go back to that shop. And, sometimes I always say that life gets in the way of flying. So, I was a single guy at the time. And so, nothing was holding me back. So I could just go and do it. Now, I've seen people that try to do that and maybe they got a family. Maybe they got kids. It can be tricky, and you might have to wait a little bit later till the kids leave the house and before you get your pilot's license, and you might have to put up with that job that you maybe don't like, but you got to pay the bills, and no matter what, you got to pay the bills. So, yeah, so it's kind of cool. I'm just checking out this. I'm just glancing at the chat over here. Pretty cool. And yeah, so that was your motivation. For me, it was just I just can't do this. I got to do something better with my life. Other people, yeah, I have known people that I taught one guy how to fly. He waited all the way till he was retired, and then he finally had the money. And then he always wanted to learn how to fly, and now he finally had time because he was retired, and all his kids were out of the house and everything. Went on, did great, and ended up getting pretty far ahead and bought a plane and stuff. And he was, pretty accomplished pilot actually. But it took him a while, and sometimes you got to wait a while and save up some cash. So money, it takes a while to save that money up too. And then I was looking over here in the chat that Jordan was talking about how he saw that was $14,000 to get your license, roughly about that. Yeah, that's about right. And the more that you could save up in advance, the better, I would say. I always recommended people, it's hard to do, but like you gotta put 10 grand in the bank, because like once you start flying, that bank account just drains like fast. It's like $1,000, $1,000, and you're like, I'm just it. And that money runs out quick. And then what happens next is now you're out of money. It's the winter time, you're not flying. You got to get back, and March March, April rolls around, and then it's like, oh, I forgot everything. Now it's going to cost you more. So it's like the more money you can save up beforehand, and if you even want to get into some kind of doing it for a living, wow, you're paying a lot of money, and you're not going to make any money for a long time. The pilots make all their big bucks at the very end of their career. In the meantime, you kind of starve, but then you get used to eating KD and making airplanes out of it, and eat on the cheap, drive a POS, and you make the best of it. And so there's your money. How do you get the money? Good job, save a bunch up. Motivation. Do you really want to do it? And time. So the way I usually tell people is that if you want to go and get your private pilot's license, the what you would do is I say, like, okay, if you have enough time in your schedule where you can go get a job for 8 hours a day working at Tim Hortons or something like that, 8 hours a day working another part-time job. If you got enough of that time in your schedule, that's pretty much good enough to get your private pilot license for the average student. So you would because it's going to take you 8 hours. Did I say 8 hours a day? 8 hours a day working? No, 8 hours. Sorry, 8 hours a week. Did I say week or day? I don't know. So like 1 day a week, 8 hours a day, something like that. 8 hours a week part-time. And so it's weird talking to a camera. You kind of lose track of what you're doing sometimes. But I think I'm getting better at this, though. It's pretty cool. And so you got your part-time job, 8 hours a week. Now you're going to be spending that much time either flying or studying or going to ground school. Generally do that, and it'll take you about a year to get your private pilot license. That's if everything is all up to snuff. And so there you go. Your money, motivation, time. Got to have enough time for that. Okay. And another thing that I wrote down in my notes here was that some people ask, do I have to be really good at math to fly? No, you don't. It takes about a grade 8 level of math. You got to add, subtract, multiply, divide. Can you use a little calculator from the dollar store? Absolutely. So there you go. And that's pretty much all you really need. You don't have to be a mathematician to become a pilot. Okay. And so money, motivation, time, and if all those things add up, then there can still be things that get in the way of you getting your license, but you have to have all three of those things in order to do it. At some point I was learning how to fly where I was unemployed. Okay, great. I had like lots of time. Oh man, I hated my machinist job. And it was like, okay, I got my motivation, and I got I'm on unemployment insurance. It's like, okay, I got no money. So it didn't work. I only had two out of the three. So here we go. We got another question from Mona Moore here. Can you learn how to fly if you're scared of heights? Absolutely. Many pilots are afraid of heights, believe it or not. But it's a strange thing. And what I would recommend, that if you're afraid of heights and you're thinking, maybe I won't like the airplane, it's weird because you get in the airplane, you just kind of feel like, I'm sitting in a chair, zipping through the sky. And there's some kind of funny disconnect there where the standing on the top of a ladder is a lot different than like being up 5,000 feet up in the air. It's just, it's kind of, I don't know. I would get more nervous if I was up 12 feet on a ladder than if I'm at 12,000 feet in a plane. So, absolutely. You can learn how to fly if you're scared of heights. And, okay. So that is about it for what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And, Dreams taking flight. I haven't seen you here before. Hi. All right. And okay, so that's it for the flying portion of it. Now I'm going to multitask here a little bit, and I'm going to save some tomato seeds. So anyways, this is kind of the final part of my saving tomato seeds. I don't know. I had a few other videos where I put my seeds and I got them all slimy and gross, and I stuck them in a little jar and like a little can. What do I call it? Container. And then so I soaked them in water. They got all slimy and gross. And then so right now I dried them out on this newspaper here. You can put them on your favorite Dilbert comic. Okay, here we go. And so you just I use a butter knife for this to scrape everything off. It seems to work nicely. If you have a really sharp knife, it tends to dig into the newspaper. And so I don't know if you ever have wondered, hey, how do I save seeds? Or how does a really cheap gardener that doesn't want to blow any cash, how does he save his seeds? This is how you do it. Okay, so we got that. And here we go. Now this here, I bought this years ago, and I keep my seeds in it's a coin envelope. Got that at Staples, #1 coin envelope. I'm assuming these back when people used cash and stuff, they used to have these little coin envelopes. So if you want to give coins and deposit them to the bank or give coins to people, it's a coin envelope. And I'm going to write, you got to make sure you document this stuff. Oh no, the KD12X fell down. Okay, it's still not damaged. All right, so these are persimmon tomato seeds, persimmon. And the year is 2022. So you always got to put the year that you grew and saved your seeds. Okay, and okay, now usually what I do is I kind of use a little paper towel as a funnel. And I kind of wrap it into a little funnel. Yeah, kind of like this. Do your best funnel imitation. So you don't want to lose any of your seeds. Just kind of make it loose like that. All right, there's my little funnel. I'm going to funnel those. Where's that? Oh, there we go. Okay, we are going to put that little funnel right in there. And then we'll take our seeds and dumperoo. They're all loose now. Get that. All right, here we go. Yeah, they've been drying out for about a week. And let's see if my little funnel idea works here. Whoa. I'll get them a little closer to the edge. There we go. Right. Isn't this fun? Oh, well, I don't care. The way I figured, it's my channel. I can do whatever I want on it. So here we go. Here we go. We got this here. Whoa. All right. Oh, I think we got her. All right, cool. So we got that all in there. I guess probably if I used an actual funnel, that'd probably be better. Like some little plastic funnel or something like that. But I don't know. I'm too cheap to buy a funnel like that. Okay, we got our seeds. And yeah, there we go. You can hear that. And yeah, we'll just seal that up for next year. Point. There we go. Now, if you want to store these babies, I have like this little container. It's just some little plastic container with a lid on it. And what I do is I was Googling around. So this is a desiccant pack. So it keeps your seeds nice and dry. You have to keep them dry. If they're wet at all still, or it's humid in your basement, you can get mold on it. So you want to keep it nice and dry. So I got this desiccant pack, great big thing. And when I was Googling around it, it looks like the only place that you could really get a desiccant pack that keeps everything dry is they sell them at Canadian Tire for people's gun cabinets. So you go to the gun section and get yourself something for your tomato seeds. Guns and tomatoes. What's better than that? Nothing. Okay, and so we got our persimmons here. And these are just a collection of other seeds left over from the other years. Okay, we've got our desiccant pack. Put that puppy in there. Good for another year. Or until the spring. Okay, so that's that. Tomatoes are all stored up. Okay, one last thing. Guns and Roses. Guns and Tomatoes, Guns and Roses. Yeah, both are awesome. Okay, and then my last little thing on my list is that I was talking to the safety doc. Okay, there's this guy. His name's David Perodin, and he's a school safety specialist over in the States. And I got in touch with him, and so I'm going to be a guest on David on the Safety Doc's YouTube channel. That'll be next week on Monday, and I'll put some links and I'll kind of be updated on that. I have to give him some information before so he can promote it and stuff like that. So you guys heard it here first that I'm going to be on the Safety Doc next Monday. And it should be a good show. I was talking to the guy on the weekend. I've never done one of those little interview things where all the YouTubers do it, but I think it'll be pretty fun. And so we're going to be, there's some similarities between airplane safety and school safety, systems. And hey, safety's cool, right? So yeah. So anyways, that's the latest on me. And okay, so today is Monday, Labor Day. So I hope you're not working too hard. It's Labor Day. So yeah, so Monday. So I'll be back here Wednesday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And yeah, I guess we'll just kind of shut her down. I've never had so much chat going on here. This is neat. Let me just see if I can scroll back here a little. See if I missed any questions. That is neat. Thanks for showing up, guys. That's really cool. Eventually, I'll look like a real pro doing this stuff. All right. No great big questions, I don't think. Don't see any question marks. Okay, I guess we got it all done then. Yeah, thanks for showing up, everybody. And we're just going to shut her down. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.